When putting together the film, the use of the iMac was absolutely essential. I mean, without it, we wouldn't have had all of the different software, because so many of them, such as Final Cut and Lifetype, are only compatible with the Mac. Now, perhaps the easiest thing when it came to using the iMac was the sheer amount of shortcuts it had on the keyboard, which made for quick, easy editing, as opposed to having to find the tools from a side menu or something like that. When it came to the video camera side of the hardware, perhaps the main thing that I learned was the importance of checking over the footage, which was of course possible because it was digital and we were reviewing things. Because upon watching the video on the small screen, you're able to notice imperfections within the scene which you wouldn't have been able to see first time around. The software iMovie was particularly helpful when putting together the quick parts of the film, specifically when we had to make the animatic preceding the film, because it made for very fast editing, which, when we were on a time limit, is essential. GarageBand, with its vast library of stock sounds and the ability to import all of your own sounds and put it against the film, made the sound editing a breeze. And again, it was compatible with the Mac, it had plenty of shortcuts, and it was able to customize every minute detail of the soundtrack, make cuts at any millisecond along the timeline, and that was incredibly important. Final Cut was useful as a software for all of the different tools that it had. So the very accurate razor blade tool, the ability to lock different aspects of the timeline, and of course make different layers, made putting together the film much easier than if we had used a simpler piece of software such as iMovie. Lifetype made it possible to use all of the more professional looking and exciting animations for the different titles, which we would have been missing out on had we used the stock ones from Final Cut or iMovie. This made it look more like an actual film, and allowed us a lot more control, where you can merge the animations and totally change what the fonts look like. Photoshop helped us learn about graphic design, as we were able to use it to make our own logos for production companies. And whilst we didn't use it a great deal, what it did teach us was the basics of, again, the use of layers when putting together a final product. So every different aspect of the photo is on a different layer. As a way to track our progress, blogging was incredibly important, considering we were putting together a piece of media. We used the site WordPress, and the benefit of blogging was it allowed us to track our progress in a very linear way, but at the same time we were able to edit it at any stage and factor in different forms of media, such as films from YouTube, photos that we upload ourselves, screenshots of what we're doing, which will complement what we're writing down and gives a lot more clarity to the project that we're trying to illustrate.